Hey everyone, I'm Jimmy. This is another episode of Behind the Unicorn. Don't forget to like, subscribe, ring the bell, or comment. I have an extremely special guest for us today, Caleb Roche.
Thank you for making sure to put the extremely special. I feel very special now.
This is the first extremely special guest we've had.
Good. Well, I should be the only extremely special guest too.
You will be.
Yeah. A good thing to know about me is I'm not very prideful. So thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for coming down to the office and studio and, meeting us and the team and giving us feedback about what we're doing, and really appreciate you taking time out of your schedule.
Yeah, this is really cool. I'm impressed. I want something like this in my home office, so maybe one day.
Well, you can always come here. You don't have to.
That's true.
You don't need one anymore.
I like that. Now I've got you guys.
Yeah, well, and we have a model set up as you can rent this without, like, you can film your own, use our mics, use our recording devices. So trying to help out businesses and content, people that want to make content.
I like that. That's awesome.
More about that later.
Perfect.
All right, Caleb, what makes you a unicorn, sir?
Oh, it depends on who you ask, I think. Just kidding. One of the big things that makes me a unicorn is I was actually the youngest admitted to both my bachelor and master's degree programs. So I'm currently 23 years old.
Okay.
I have my bachelor's degree from the University of Central Oklahoma in marketing, and then I actually have an MBA from West Texas A&M University. So most people typically finish their bachelor's degree around 22-ish. And so I was 22 with a master's and bachelor's degree. So
what gave you that drive? Is it drive? What?
I guess if you call it that,
magic?
I mean, it might be some magic. I don't know. It's one of those things that I've always wanted to have a master's degree. When you're younger, kind of in the profession, and you're kind of on your own, you really, as you have to build your portfolio. And as you're building your portfolio, I kind of wanted that, educational backing that can show that I take it to the next level, maybe. And so it's just always been a goal of mine to finish school pretty quickly, not sit around and keep accumulating student loans. And so my goal has always been kind of get it through pretty quickly. And so awesome. I guess it was just the drive to get it done.
Well, we this is our second time to ever meet. We met by phone, I think a week ago.
Yep. And here we are.
I love it. This is going to be a week ago, and this is going to be 2040, and it's still going to be a week ago. That's what I like about it. All right, so we met a week ago, and this is the second time we've met. And what I did learn about you the first time we met is you're also homeschooled.
Yes.
So you're homeschooled.
I was an awkward homeschooled kid.
And you have, 2 degrees.
Yep. Still a little awkward. Jury's still out if I'm, especially awkward, but we'll see.
Yeah, who cares, right?
Yeah, it was I will say, like, the homeschooling side, my parents did a great job of equipping me, in my opinion, of, making sure I was prepared for education and help me get some college credit. So, for like seniors that I talk to or high school students, it's like, go get concurrent classes. Yeah. Because even if you get a couple credits, no one looks at how many credits you get from like a, let's say like a, like a 2-year school or one of those things, because you can take it in as long as it transfers.
I mean, I'm impressed. I wish I had the drive. I wish I had a lot of what you have. I mean, at that age. So
it's all relative.
I'm officially 42 today. So
you're still young.
Yeah. Before we get too far, I need to say thank you to our episode sponsor. They made this episode possible. All right, Caleb, is there anything else that makes you a unicorn?
It depends on who you ask, really, I think, because, I've learned throughout my very short lifespan, I'm still learning, that everything is relative. So, success to me is different than what you might consider success. And so I do feel like the one other thing that makes me a little bit of a unicorn at my age is I spent a couple of years working with a large quick service restaurant chain, the second largest one in the United States, and help them with product research. And so it was a really cool role because I got to see any new products that they developed. We'd go taste test and gained a lot of weight from it. Thankfully, I lost all of it. So we would test products and take it into like their executive team and see whether it would be a good fit for the market. So it was one of the other things that at a young age I got exposed to a lot of cool things in the business world. A lot of marketing, got to work with like VaynerMedia and some of the other ones that like bigger names. So that was a lot of good experience when I was a little bit younger that kind of helped propel like where I am now.
Awesome. What about any business hacks? Do you have any business hacks for our audience?
Business hacks. Never stop working. Just kidding.
Never stop working.
Never stop working. No, I've learned every business hack that I've tried, I have failed at it. So like, I don't know about you, but
if you watch a video about a business hack or a life hack, it's edited.
Yeah. Well, and like, so do you time block during your day?
Man, that is one of the worst things that I do. Yes. Like that is a thing I struggle with. I've gotten better at blocking my schedule.
Yeah.
And what made me start doing that is I started using a way that people could book this table, a way that other agencies could see our schedule and they could book shoots for us. So then if I didn't block my time, then it could get booked, right? So if I'm like, okay, I really need to work on something, and like I have a shoot, on Tuesday, Monday. It means I need to block my schedule so I can get ready for the shoot on Tuesday.
Yep.
So I've started doing that due to people being able to block my schedule off without me having any say. And, I just don't want to be the guy that goes, I need to reschedule, even though I gave you a link to automatically sign up to schedule automatically without talking to me. So you see what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
So I've started blocking off time, I think, more in trying to avoid having to reschedule versus blocking time and going, what I need to do is, okay, our prospecting list, this is what we're doing today, and then our social media, this is going to be recorded today, and we're public. So I don't time block to do what I should get done. I time block out of fear.
Yeah, same. Yeah, it's like it's one of those things you watch a lot of videos, and like I've even gone through. I don't know about you, but like all the planners, like I think there's one that's like the highly intentional planner or the strategic planner. I've gone through like 6, and I start off strong. A week in, I'm writing down notes. What was the best part about your week? What did you get? And you're like,
it does help though, right?
Yeah, it does.
It helps. It makes you feel good.
But then you're like a week in, and you're like, I'm exhausted from I'm writing the same exact things over now. Like, who do I need to write a thank you note? Well, I've written, like today I didn't really meet with anyone, so am I going to write a thank you note to myself? And there's creative ways that I could probably be using it better. But I've learned that as I get into time blocking, it's like, you get it down. And then the minute like you start a morning routine at 6 a.m. and you decide every morning I'm going to get up at 6 a.m. The minute that your kid is sick until 2 in the morning and you're sitting there like, do I sleep in a little bit longer or do I, stay with this morning routine? Have I not gotten a lot of sleep recently? Do I need more sleep? And so those are the situations that you encounter. And sometimes you really have to be willing to accommodate like life.
You can start beating yourself up, right?
Exactly.
I didn't get up at 6. I was supposed to.
Because then you start off, that's what I learned very quickly was like, I'm still learning that I like to set a morning routine at 6 a.m. But some mornings I need that extra 20 minutes of sleep because it really fuels me for the day.
So you just need to adjust your plan.
But then, if I wake up thinking I'm already 20 minutes behind 6 a.m., oh my gosh, I can't. I've already failed at my first task versus, I can adjust a little bit. I have some flexibility in the morning. Let me start this a little bit later, move my schedule a little bit, and I'm great. And it's like such a mentality shift that is so strange.
For sure. Yeah, I agree with you on that. It is also awesome how much advice I can give you, but I won't take any of it myself.
Yes, same.
I hate that.
Yes, and that's what I've...
Being aware of that sucks too, right?
It does. And I've learned so many, like a lot of the viral videos now that's like, here's how you hack your life, or here's how I did this, or here's how I scaled. They're giving this advice and either they're not implementing on their own and they're just giving
a video to get views to run ads on,
or they've like kind of successfully done it, but they still will not disclose like where they've failed or how long it took them to get to that point. Like it might have taken them 10 years to wake up at 6 a.m., but now they're going to focus on, well, I've woken up at 6 a.m. for a year, even though it took them 15 years to do that successfully.
I agree.
So as much as I'd love to say I have like some great business hack or, anything like that, like I honestly don't. It's just I'm learning to continually be flexible with myself. I think that's kind of a business hack of like, that I'm learning that hacks don't work sometimes, and I have to be like accepting of that.
There's no magic bullet.
I'm not a
right?
failure because I can't do a certain business hack.
There's no magic bullet. There's no easy way to the top. You still have to take the stairs. You know what I'm saying? Like you still have to put in the work, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. We know all about work around here.
I can tell.
Why do you do what you do, Caleb?
Man, I was actually on a podcast this morning.
This morning?
I was on it.
This is the second one today?
This is my second one today.
Did you hear that, Ryan?
Yeah. I'm dedicated, you know? I got 10 more scheduled.
Was it about hacks?
It was about hacks. It was about how I hack my life every day.
How to hack the podcast.
How I make $1 million a day. And I only work 2 hours a week. So if you want that, join my course.
Yeah.
Just kidding. No. So one of the things that we were discussing today was, you really know you're fulfilled in life, or you're in the right space when you wake up excited about what you're doing. And it's like it gives you fuel. So the things that I do, knowing the creative strategies that we're putting together, the marketing strategies, whether it's for a smaller business or a large business, I wake up excited. Yeah. And not a lot of things do that for me. And so one of the things that I really enjoy is getting to see the progression of, like, let's say a marketing campaign that we roll out. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer for campaigns to do well. And so it's that buildup of when we start getting a little bit more momentum, we're seeing the data is telling us a little bit more that we're being successful, or we're close, we're like right on the brink. And then the moment that campaign goes well, sometimes they don't, but when they do, it's amazing to see like the traction that you can pull from there. Yeah. And so for me, the thing that excites me every day is waking up in that new challenge. How do we solve a problem with an existing campaign? What do we need to do differently? What are the new trends that are going on? Like there is so much information out there. And so what can I absorb today that I can learn something new, or that we can do something different that is going to help our business owners build better marketing strategies?
So let's say, I'll put you on the spot.
Okay.
So let's say, you're building up to seeing the results, and the results aren't what you or the business want. Right? Ooh, they're not in they're not.
That never happens.
What do you do? What's the conversation?
So it depends on the business.
It's not performing.
Yes. So it's being fully transparent that the campaign is not performing.
Yeah, that's the best thing you can do with anything, right?
And working through, one of the things that we prep a lot of people is we can never predict results. So as much as we'd love to guarantee, the thing I tell people is when, you have like, let's say we put together what we consider the best graphic, the best video. It has the perfect hook. It's got the perfect offer. It's going to go. And then I like to tell people, let's say like my wife is a stay-at-home mom. And so let's say she's had a really terrible day with our son. And so, we've got a consumer product that's for moms. That's for like, something that they would really enjoy. And she wakes up one day, he's in a bad mood. She has a headache, and she sees this ad. And we've done everything we can, perfect delivery. We've retargeted properly. You targeted her, the whole deal. It like
she
fits
clicked
all
on
pain
it.
points.
She clicked on it.
She even clicked on it and like loves the product. Yeah. But in that moment, she's either overwhelmed, she has a headache, whatever that is, and she's not going to take action. And so we can do everything except for them taking the action.
Yeah, you need to talk to your wife.
I know, I do. Yeah. I know. I can't believe she didn't buy the product. So one of the things that we tell people is when we're prepping campaign is, we're going to use the data to tell us how we're performing, and we're going to be fully upfront with that. And when a campaign does not perform well, we're either going to say, do you have the endurance to continue on? If we're seeing good progressions in data, let's say we've increased our click-through rate by 100% over the past month, or month over month, or we've dropped our cost per click, and we're really getting a lot of traffic driven, and they're just not converting. Yeah. So we ask, do you have the endurance to continue on, and do we want to keep testing it? Yeah. Or are we just becoming kind of a burden on you to where we're not seeing the results, you need the results, and now you're just wasting money?
Or can we change it?
Exactly.
Right? Can we keep adapting it and making changes?
And so sometimes when we have those conversations and it's like, you need the endurance, you need the 3 months to test, they get to month 2, it's really not. We're like, just hold on 1 more month.
Well, I think it's sometimes when you say endurance, I think physical endurance, or, it's a whole different aspect of, thinking through it, can we have some more meetings about this? Can your team invest? What else can we find out? But then really what's the bottom of all that is, do you have the money? Yep. Right? Do you have the money to do these tests?
And do you have the strength to, because we're conditioned to think marketing happens instantly. And sometimes it does. Right. But sometimes it takes time to actually see the results. And so we've seen clients that it's like 2 months in, campaign's performing semi-decent. We're seeing
Yeah.
some movement. They're getting key decision makers, but it's not converting. And we said,
Yeah.
hey, let's give us a little bit more, like one more month if you can. Let's just see what happens.
Yeah.
Month 3 hits, it's like wild. And now we're on a completely different progression, but that month 3 could have been absolutely terrible too. And you could have never predicted that.
Well, I mean, even so, you have a new product, it takes off, and everybody's happy, great sales, and then all of a sudden they start dying off because of, you got to find out why, right? So you have to, right? Or maybe products isn't being built anymore, or, as often. So campaign's going really well.
Yep.
It's everyone's
But
great,
again,
everyone's happy, and then it just dies off, or maybe the supply of items can't get made. And, I think that's been a big one lately. So,
and I think that's, so going back to the initial conversation, I think that's why I love what I do every day, because it's something different. Sometimes we have a really good campaign that's going on, and then I wake up the next day and it's like completely tanked. And so you have to, it's like a challenge every day. What do we need to do to optimize or make this different?
So are you good at separating the business from your
Absolutely
human?
not.
No?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
I am terrible. This would be, we should have brought my wife in for this conversation.
You're a mirror of whatever's going on.
Yes.
You turn the same color.
Yes. I am terrible at work-life balance and, shutting myself off for the business.
Yeah.
And so if a client calls me at like 10 o'clock at night, I feel like I should answer.
Yeah.
So do you feel, seems like you've mastered it a little bit better?
I mean, why do you say that?
I mean, I don't know. You've been in business a lot longer than I have.
I mean, I can't say that I've mastered it, but I try to have that may be a good time block. Maybe I'm good at when my wife has things on the calendar, I'm there. So she time blocks for me.
Yeah.
Ryan can attest to that, Like today I have to leave at 4 because we have martial arts. So
there you go.
I'll go help and I'll do that. And usually I'm not the parent, at a baseball practice that's on their phone, I don't understand that. I like to try to remain present in everything that I'm doing.
Yeah.
Hold on a second. Let me get my phone.
Yeah. Can I answer this call really quick? Sorry.
Hey, I'm in a meeting.
Yeah, I'm on a podcast.
Why did you answer your phone if you're on a meeting to tell me you're in a meeting?
Yes.
Deal with your meeting. I don't know why people do that.
Yeah.
I think it's, there's a whole different podcast.
Okay.
We have to have one with like a neuroscience or something.
That'd be kind of cool.
No, I mean, I try to protect my family time. And I mean, just the other day we were filming and we went into like 6 or 7 o'clock. I knew it ahead of time though. So I do the best that I can do to go, this is going to go past this time.
Yeah.
And then, so I try to manage that a whole lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm learning. Like I'm terrible at like if I'm at a meeting, you can never predict like a networking event how long that's going to go.
Yeah.
And so it's like you try to forecast like, okay, I'm going to try to be out by 5 o'clock, and then I slowly learned. I would say 5 o'clock, like, hey, I'll leave, and then 7 o'clock rolls around, and you're like, I am saying goodbye.
Were you drinking?
Like, no, actually not.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I get in a conversation.
Well, I mean, you start drinking, then it's like easier to stay, right? So,
but like you get in a conversation, and before you know it, like you're in a conversation with someone, and then someone comes out and they're like, "Hey, can I ask you a quick question?" And then 30 minutes later, and then you look down your phone and you're like, "Oh, it's 5:30, and I said I was going to leave by 5." So learning to manage those expectations.
Networking wise, like there's one specifically that I went to. Like I think it starts like at 3:30. Karate. It is always on a Wednesday. And so it was when the schedule was changed. I would only go for 30 minutes. 30 minutes, and that was it. So I could go do the other stuff. But it was about making an appearance, and it's about saying hi to everyone in the room. Hey, how you doing? And really have a good conversation. I may be able to not get that deep, but at least we could start a conversation to pick up the conversation on a phone or have a meeting.
I need to get better at that.
And so my goal whenever I go to networking is, say hi to everyone I know, and then hopefully they introduce me to someone they know.
Yeah.
And so I think there's a way to kind of work the room, I want to get in there and say hi to everybody because that's what it's about anyways. It's not about handing out business cards.
Yep.
I don't want to hand out any.
No.
I just want to say hi and show up and, have a good conversation like you said. But you can get sucked into those long ones, like my long-winded answer.
Yes,
right
I like
now.
that. Wasn't too long-winded though. I think you spit some truth right there. So I need to learn from you.
We'll go network together.
There you go. Let's do it. You want to go network together?
Yep.
We could be like the
We're doing it right
duo.
now. Can I have your business card?
Yeah. What's your name? You want to hire me for my services?
Yeah. Yeah.
We just met, but you should hire me. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, you didn't. Do you have anybody doing this for you? Who do you know that I should know?
Yeah, it's like the LinkedIn messages that you get. Like I get somebody that are like, I help marketing consultants grow their business by 6 figures.
Let's connect.
And like, oh, I wonder why they want to connect with me on LinkedIn. And then I accept, like, for the fun of it. And then like 5 minutes later, I get a message like, hey, Caleb, just noticed randomly connected that you're a marketing consultant. Like, we should talk. Do you want to do a quick Zoom call? I'd love to learn about your business. Mm-hmm. And then when you first start, you're like kind of naive. You're like, they want to learn about my business. Yeah. Like, that's so neat.
Right.
And then you realize the first 5 minutes, they're like, how much revenue do you do? What's your clients? You're like, oh, this is nice. So like,
who's your main client?
Deep, who's like, what's your main pain point? Like, oh, they want to have a good conversation. And then you realize 10 minutes in that they've used that pain point that you've talked to. And it's like, Caleb, I know you're terrible at personal time. So what I'll do is for $3,000 a month, I will personally coach you on how to build a better personal life. Awesome. So we've known each other 10 minutes and I'm going to pay you $3,000.
Yeah.
Awesome.
We can bring leads to your door.
Yeah. So typically I just give them my credit card and social security number and it works really well.
That's why you're here.
Yeah, that's why I'm here. I think you have my credit card, right?
I do.
Do you need my mother's maiden name?
No, I'll get it later.
Great, thanks.
I want everyone to get it.
We'll keep that. My social security bleep.
All right. Anything you want to add?
No.
All right. 1 or 2 things you think our viewers should know.
This is a big one. I don't know.
It is a big one.
Like, what do people typically do on these?
This is the first time we've asked this question.
Okay.
It just came in last week.
Oh, okay. Well,
I made that up.
You made that up?
I made that up. Yeah.
Okay. Oh.
I made this up this morning.
Oh.
So no, I just it could be anything. It's like a good song, right? Whatever it means to you today.
Yeah. Fair. Well, one of the things that I think a lot of people should know is again, I'm going to reference the other podcast. We were talking a lot about how a lot of people aren't transparent on social media. And so like one of the things that I'm learning to kind of filter through my mind, and I think it's really important for people to know is like life is, and everyone knows this, life isn't perfect. Like what you post on social media, it's completely different from what you do.
Pictures are.
Yeah, exactly. So you always pick the better picture. You always want to tell a good story, but I think I'm learning to have perspective when it comes to like holding myself, especially as a business owner. You see all these things that people are extremely successful from the outside.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's easy to like compare yourself of I'm not ahead, I'm not at this point.
Yeah.
But you don't realize. So I think maybe that's a long-winded answer for something that should have been very short. But I think
it's great.
It's something that I'm learning personally is like there's a lot of there's a lack of transparency out there, and it really can set your expectations really terribly as a business owner, and it can make you like have some really terrible feelings.
Yeah. I mean, right now, my wife and we have 3 kids, and I'm really curious to see how all of this shapes them.
Yep.
Right? Kind of worried about it. But I can't do anything about it either. I mean, I can to an extent. But yeah.
I think like we live in such a powerful world that, with kids nowadays, you can go on YouTube and make a lot of money, or you can make such a big brand. But there's also so much out there that's kind of scary. So it's like there's a lot of potential, but there's a lot of potential for some bad things too.
You don't need no photo filters.
I know. Thanks, man. You don't either. You look perfect the way you are. These lights make me look a little nicer though. So I mean, can we just have them follow me?
That's
everywhere?
our job.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, you guys do a great job making people look good from my perspective. What's I'll turn the question back on you. What's something that someone should know about you?
Know about me, or just know
or
in
just
general?
Know
about me. You don't want to know. You can always change a habit, Yeah. And that's probably one of the toughest things that you'll ever do.
Yeah.
But in order to do that, you have to be willing to do it first, and then you have to work on it every day.
Okay. Interesting. You're dropping some fire right here. That could be a reel right there.
Well, I only say that because I wake up every morning working on things every morning. So that's like my morning routine, and my morning routine is about me understanding myself every day, and then trying to add a little bit of value to that.
That's really cool. It's good fire right there. let me get my phone and let me take some notes real quick.
No phones at the table, just like dinner table.
Oh man,
I'm just joking.
This is lame.
Anything that keeps you up at night?
A lot of things. good and bad, I guess.
Yeah.
I think the continued, I love your perspective on, since you've been in business a lot longer than I have, I'd love your perspective on whether
I'm just older.
you're older. No, I call it life experience. You're a lot smarter than I am and more intelligent. But I think one of the things that
I accept that.
Yeah, you should accept that. Take the compliment, okay? I'm trying to be nice here. But I think one of the things that keeps me up at night is always never letting myself be. Maybe not the best word, but the word that comes to me is content in business. Like always being content in business, but never letting yourself get too comfortable. I guess comfortable should have been the word, not content, because I think content is really good.
You can get comfortable. Yeah, I got clients coming in. We have this revenue.
Yep.
Yeah.
And being like, oh, what we're doing, status quo is doing really well. Like what keeps me up at night is how can we continue to increase our client experience and make sure that what we're providing is continued to be valuable. Because I've gone through stages in my business, a short term, that you go through these stages where it's like you get comfortable and then you start maybe losing clients, or you might have some like what you think is going well is not going well.
Or you get so busy that you're comfortable because you're busy.
Yep.
And you should have been prospecting.
Exactly.
That's a hard one, right?
It is. And so one of the things that I'm learning is like one of the things that really keeps me up at night is like, how do I balance this content versus comfortable? So how do I be excited and grateful for what I have and be really on fire and passionate about it?
Yeah.
And like be willing to step back and say, man, we're doing great work and I'm really proud of what we've done.
Yeah.
But on the flip side, saying, what can we be investing in? What can we be doing to not sit at that point where we just stay stagnant? Because, being stagnant isn't a terrible thing for a period of time. Yeah. But I think you always, as we've talked about, you always have to be continually learning something new.
Yeah.
Does it get better? Can you tell me it gets better as I go in business, or no?
I mean, I wake up today feeling the same way that I did when I started.
Great. Awesome.
So, I mean, with maybe more confidence though, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Confidence and knowledge.
Yeah.
Right. And definitely more goal oriented.
Okay.
So, I mean, all the things that you said that you're talking about make sense.
Yeah.
We have a business coach. That was a really good thing that we've been investing in. That's helped us out too, because I know that I was the problem, right? Because I was stagnant. I like to work. I like to work hard. Yeah. I like to protect my family time. So I don't mind, working hard and doing all those things, but like, I don't have to struggle though.
Yep.
Like, so you work hard, you do all that. It's like kind of a struggle in there too, right?
Yep.
So what can we do to stop struggling is what we're working on here.
I like that. Well, it's like going back to the hack, like you can always find ways to optimize your life or do things. But the minute that you're like, this hack is what's going to keep us in, like all we had to do is this one hack and we're done. Like that's going to keep us going.
Yeah.
Like that's where you get to the point where you wake up one day and realize like we've been doing well, but we've neglected X or we haven't done this. And so now what we thought was helping us out was not actually really doing that. Like we got to a point, but now where are we at now?
It did help at one time, but now it's a hindrance. For example, my automatic calendar scheduling.
yes.
Like it works great. Like that's a great.
Yep. Or until the moment you forgot to put some sort of parameter or something in your calendar.
Right. Yeah.
You're like, oh my gosh, I was lazy, did not put that on my calendar, and then someone booked a time, and now I either have to decide, do I choose this or that? And
I'm not good at choosing. So
I mean, I don't know you that well, but that's something I learned about you, I guess.
Yeah.
Do you can you choose food restaurants pretty quick, or is that pretty hard for you?
Usually I just let everyone else choose. I don't care. Like my garbage.
But then the hard part is when you don't really care and they don't care, and then you sit there and try to figure it out.
The hard part is when they say they don't care, then you say, fine, you pick it, and then they pick it, then they don't want it. That's the hard part.
I don't like people that do
that. Before I get to the next question, because I want to go back to being homeschooled.
Yeah.
How does that help you or how did it hurt you?
I think there's two facets to it. So like, we'll start with the negative, let's say. Okay. So on the negative side, like I wasn't able, especially in high school, I wasn't able to have the full high school experience. So I wasn't able to be the star football player, the golf player.
Because you would have been.
Yeah, I would not have been. I'm just saying, like, yeah. I would have been the star in anything. I'm so confident in my abilities. It's a good thing I didn't go because my self confidence probably would have been low. Like, wanted to be the star football player and would have been third string, linebacker or something. Yeah.
Since you were at homeschool, was your mom like harder, or mom and dad?
Yeah, my mom mainly did the school. Like my dad.
So I just want to. Yeah. So was she like harder on you, or
she wasn't harder? I credit my parents.
No, we're gonna give you another A+.
Yeah, no, I'll give a lot of credit. Like my parents were very educational focused, but it wasn't the only thing in life. So there's a lot of parents I feel like that really push their kids to like, all you have to do to be successful is make A's in school, and like that's all you really need. And then they get in the real world and A's are great, but like there's a lot more at play. Yeah. And then you have the people that are like, oh, you don't need to worry about education. And then they're like failing college. And then they can't do what they want to do because they failed.
Well-rounded, right?
Yes. And so one of the things that, like on the negative side, you don't get the social life as much. Like it's really hard to connect with people. And then here in Oklahoma specifically, sports are really hard. So like I played golf, but I couldn't play in any high school tournaments because like you weren't allowed as a homeschooler.
You're good at golf, aren't you?
Not very good. I
Liar.
I'm an amateur.
Did you go to Tulsa for the PGA?
Yes, I did. That doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, it does. It does. It does.
It means I just like...
you were Tiger's caddy.
Yeah. My side gig is Tiger's caddy. I won't lie. Jordan Spieth, actually. But so like on the sports side, like, but looking back, those are kind of irrelevant. Like you get some really great memories, but I'm kind of glad on the positive side because what I was able to do was, I was kind of closer to the end of high school. My parents did a really great job of trying to get me to socialize. And so
I was just laughing. I was just laughing. I was just making a bad joke about you opening up a can of whoop. So I don't know.
Fair.
Anyways.
You got me there. You can always throw good jokes or bad jokes out there.
Go ahead.
But near the end of high school, like I was able to work full time. I was able to do like my schooling was able to be flexible. So I got all the schooling that I needed. I could take college classes and work 40 hours a week.
Yeah, I mean,
and so I got to work for a country club, be a bag boy, in golf.
You telling me that.
And so one of the nice things was I got some really great connections that led to future opportunities. And it's still like my mom actually works back where I grew up, and she like works for like a garden center, and people still come in and they hear the name, like last name, like, oh, I know Caleb. He was a bag boy. And that was 6 years ago. Yeah. And so the connections that you get from that. So as little as I want to like focus on like, man, I didn't get to play sports, or I didn't get to have the cool like friends, like as many friends as everyone else had. I'm like very grateful for the opportunities that I had because I know they've propelled me, maybe given me a little bit more opportunities than most have. So I'm grateful for that.
Yeah. Have we met? I'm your friend.
Yeah. We're friends. You're my first friend. I don't know how to handle this. Do we shake hands or do we fist bump or what do we? Sorry, I'm really bad at socializing, so just kind of nervous.
Same here. So anything else you want to add?
Oh, I feel like we've had some really good gold in this podcast. So,
yeah.
You know what, though, kind of like going back to the field of like, perception is everything, and how there's not a lot of transparency. So, it's just interesting to see how like you can perceive different people and, how their life might look a little bit different, but kind of fun to see. So
yeah,
it's interesting. Those marketing people, they do a really great job of making their lives look really great.
Yeah, they do, right? Well, some of them make a really good job at making their lives look great, and others work themselves to death. So if someone's looking like they got it all going on and they're not really they can do anything, it's probably because they're paying someone or because someone else is locked in a room.
And they might even have a video editor that includes DesignTunnel. So, you
never
know.
You
never know when they have that firepower of an amazing organization behind them. So
yeah, true. They definitely connecting with the right.
Because if they're not using DesignTunnel for their video editing things, I mean, what are they doing with their life?
Probably struggling.
They probably don't have good videos.
Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, or ring the bell. And Caleb, I think that's all we got today.
Man, well, thanks for letting me be on here and giving hopefully knowledge, maybe not knowledge, but hopefully knowledge.
Oh no, this is great. Great show, great share. We always throw a card at the camera. I'll do mine first.
Okay.
There you go.
Boom.
Good job.